Hey guys, welcome to the start of a brand new city inside of Cities Skylines. This is going to be a 25 tile series on the Table Mountains map, part of Map Pack 2 by Sidai. Now, if you guys are playing regular console on the PS4, Switch, stuff like that, then you can be able to follow along to 9 tiles. If you're playing on PC, you can follow the 25 using 25 tile mods, and then you'll be able to take it further using 81 tiles. So this build is going to be probably, hopefully, one of the best builds I have ever done inside of Cities Skylines because I have spent a lot of money on this game over the past few months, and I've also spent a lot of time just figuring out how to make my builds go that little bit higher from the previous city, which we'll be having a city tour later this week. So without further ado, let's get into the start of this brand new city. So as I said, this is on the Table Mountains map because it allows us to have this main area here, which we filled up with housing, and the main downtown. You're just going to be able to see just beyond the mountain in the foreground is where our main downtown is going to be. But we also have another area over there, which is perfectly flat for massive builds and lots of terraforming opportunities. I think this is going to be a very, very good city. So obviously, we are going to need to start off, and we are going to use a couplet system that will run all the way through the city eventually. But for right now, we're just going to set it off, get rid of these traffic lights, because traffic lights are actually pretty useless inside of City Skylines unless builds get really, really busy. So what I am envisioning is the main sort of starting suburb to come out this way. And let's take this out. How many tiles is that? Let's take that out 3,000. And then we are going to use this one here, 2-lane road with median. Let's go in here, maybe. Let's go in the next one here. And this will start sort of our main suburb area. So what I want to do is leave a gap, sort of like the last city, between the main couplet system and the starting suburb, which can be used for greenbelt just to reduce the noise, just to do a little bit of detailing. And let's run this road all the way down and just make it end on one of the tiles there. And then do the same on here. And what I want to do eventually is lead this road off through past this railway and onto that small little bank on the other side of the river, which is where a campus is going to go at a later date. And I also want to get the starting to the what's it called? The couplet system to run through and off down towards downtown. So what we're going to do is use a little bit of starting industry here. This is all going to be demolished on this side of the main road. It's all going to be demolished at a later date. So just build up like this. We just have enough room for some for some industry. Like so. And then what we're going to want to do is place down our services. So I think what I want to do is put a water tower on the corner here. Yeah, and then probably put another one here when we need it, because I think that could look like a pretty good start to the city. And then we need to connect this to our road systems. We can run through here. And we're going to use dirt roads at the start of this build because that is the cheapest form, and I don't want to run out of money straight away because I've got a lot of plans for this city and I do not want it to fail. And what we want to do for sewage is eco inland or regular inland. Regular is cheaper, so put the regular inland treatment plant. Or should we do... Actually, I don't think the pollution radius is any different, is it? The pollution radius is exactly the same. And that does drain capacity 120,000. Yeah, let's just use the regular one. And place that in there. Connect it into the plumbing. And then the power is going to have to be coal power plant to start with. And that might not be ideal, and it will be quite expensive, but we can turn down production straight away. So if we place this, that's got quite a large pollution radius. Let's place this here temporarily, turn down the power budget to 50%, because we're not going to need it very high for long. And we're not going to need water to be high. Don't need roads to be high, because we will not be using road maintenance in this series, because we've not got snowfall. And everything else is not unlockable yet. So let's start with our starting grid, which will go through here. Do I want a road connecting through? Let's have a road connecting through there. And as with the last city, I want to leave some space for paths to run through the actual build. So I'm going to allow this to go onto a path directly over, which then means that we'll start our next one. Let's put another one through here, another grid there. That'll be allowed to be a road coming straight through. I want to put the our first school around here. So I'm gonna end this here and just build off a little bit, because this is where the school is going to go, and delete this because obviously we don't unlock landscaping until 1300, and as you can see by the topography, there's a lot of hills around here. Obviously it's not too bad, but when we start doing the coupler system, it will become noticeable with these little bits here. Just little bits that will just make the city look a little bit worse for wear than it actually could be. And let's also expand the grid system to come through here and have another path coming down this direction. And where else can we put housing? I think maybe put another one like this, and through that is flatter than that is flat, and do that as well. Okay, get water through, get power connected to the first house that comes up here, get water again through there. And I think what we're going to do is place our commercial down this main road, and it will be used as a sort of jumper point between the power and the housing, because that's where the factory is. This is where starting industry will be, which can all just be mass zoned. Doesn't really matter what it looks like, because this will all be moved and replaced with a farming industry over there. That small little bit of patches right at the top of the screen. That is quite a small area, but I have already built a farm on this map on a trial city, and it was probably one of the best agricultural areas I've ever built. So that is what we're going to be doing. And then we want housing. So I want to make sure I leave space for the paths to come through, and ideally 4x4 housing. So if we leave that gap there for the path to come through, I want connections between. This bit is going to be greenbelt with shops on this side, allowing the path to come along. I want to have it so you can connect between areas of housing, and maybe also leave it so that we can actually have little park areas, custom park areas. I think maybe leaving that bit there, allowing that to become a little park area. This can all be mass zoned. This can all be mass zoned. Maybe leave that bit for a path. That all zoned up. And yeah, let's do this bit all zoned up as well. So that should be good for the start of the city. Let's get power to just jump over real quick. Hopefully, the system, the AI, will be smart enough to actually start it right where the power grid is. But anyway, they actually have that. Is actually useful. That is really useful. So now we just have to get to 400 population for Little Hamlet. Worthy Village is 800. How much is it to get to the top? The top is 80,000, and we can do that. Will we be able to do it in 9 tiles? I'm not sure, but hopefully we will be able to. And I think I've got a very good idea on how to cram loads of population in very, very quickly later on once we unlock high density, because I have I have bought the Brooklands and Queens content creator pack. And what that does is just make loads of high density housing, like all based off like Brooklyn, Queens, and New York. And you can just mass zone it, and it doesn't look terrible, while also giving you populations that can really skyrocket the size of your city. So let's just look at our budget panel real quick. We are losing money. We are very low. We've got 18,000, so we should be fine. So I might just actually expand this road out to here, and also expand the dirt road out a bit, allowing us to get a few more people in. And we do unlock a tile at our first milestone. No, we don't. We need 800 people to move into this small little bit here, which should be possible if we expand it out that way. And then once we unlock that tile there, then obviously water's not got any power. That's going to be not ideal. Okay, yeah, let's disconnect that into the main grid. And once we unlock this tile here, then I believe it also allows us to unlock where our agricultural area will go. It can be very, very useful. And we can also build over here, expand this over the highway at a later date, and expand the starting suburb to this bit right here, which is also very flat, I believe. So we're just going to wait for this to all start growing up. And what I want to do is make sure that that doesn't actually happen. I don't want them facing onto these inward roads. So what I'm going to do, go on to snapping, turn off all zoning. Hang on, if I just click the right one. Make it so it only forms on these roads. That has to go as well. And you also want to make sure that these buildings are historical at the start of your builds, because commercial assets in this game, unless you use one of the ones coming from the content creator packs, can get very ugly very quickly. And I don't want that to happen. I want to make sure that this main street looks like a proper main street. So what I'm going to do eventually is have tram networks coming all the way through down this main road. And we're also going to use the encourage cycling, encourage biking city plan as well, because I want to make sure that traffic doesn't stay high in the city, because that can become a nightmare very, very quickly. And why is no one coming in? Factories, that's going to be annoying, I think. So we zone some more factories in here, because industrial is very high demand right now. And we just need to wait for people to actually move into the city. So I will cut to once we hit the 400 population milestone. Okay, so now that we have Little Hamlet, that's where the money can actually stop being a worry by just turning taxes up to 12%. Now, I want this series to sort of be a guide for people who want to build a really good, high quality city, just want to follow along. Same for gameplay, people just want to enjoy seeing it, but also sort of a tutorial for people who want to get into the Cities Skylines base game. And for those who are now getting into it, 12% is probably the highest tax you can put on your city without your citizens complaining, unless you've got very high land value. So 12% is always the maximum that I'd ever go, because anything above, because obviously it allows you to charge up to 29%, but that would just annoy every single citizen in your city, and you do not want that. And also loans, there are some people who say don't use them because it just it's an unnecessary expense. But if you need money to do a project, then by all means go and do it. I think around the point that if you download the Industries DLC, once you've got your starting industry in, which we'll do in the next episode, you don't have to worry about loans or taxes or anything really, because the Industries DLC, I'm not going to say it's broken in case Paradox try to update it and make it a little bit less profitable, but it is very, very easy to make a lot of money off of it very quickly. Once you get to a level 4, level 5 starting industry, your money is never going to be a problem again. Like I said, I've already done a small test city on this map, and I did the farm. And in a couple of days, in like literally about an hour of gameplay, we went from around 37,000 struggling with money to well over 200,000. So you never have to worry about it again once you have industry properly put in. And also, financial districts are an extremely broken way of making money. I don't really like doing it. I did way back when, I think nearly 2 years ago now, when I did my first city on this channel. We used the stock market. I remember the video. It was manipulating the stock market to make millions or something like that. And the financial districts, once you unlock industries through that, get the oil one if you want to make absolute bank, and just manipulate the budgets, allowing you to make millions of dollars very, very quickly. I can make 14 million in about 5 minutes. It is really broken and is not something we're going to be doing in this city. But anyway, we now have access to garbage disposal, which we are going to use a recycling center on, just because landfill sites don't use landfill sites in your games at all because they get filled up and then it's just they're really annoying to move around because you have to empty them, everything like that. So always go and get the Green Cities DLC. It's definitely one of the better DLCs in my opinion. Get to the recycling center, and that is so much easier to use, a lot less pollution, and also a lot more compact because this thing is super annoying. Same when we get to healthcare. The cemetery, you're gonna have to use it, but it is again super annoying. Always use the crematorium once you unlock it because cemetery, same as garbage landfill, you have to move around and just get filled up. It's very annoying. But anyway, let's get into our school area, which is going over here. So what I want to actually do is allow us to have some detailing around the schools. This is something that a lot of players don't do in City Skylines, and that is allowing them to actually make individual assets like the school an actual build in itself. That is really annoying. That is off center. That is really annoying. I'm just going to move that over a tile. Oh, are you kidding me? Right, so I'm going to take out that loan because I just wasted about a lot of money. So this is actually a very good time for me to show you guys how you can actually center assets. So you want to turn off your grid snapping, I believe. And as you can see, when you normally have grid snapping, it's right in the middle of 4 tiles. So what you actually want to do, turn off grid snapping and also turn back on zoning, and just move it so it's in the middle of these of 2 individual tiles. Maybe turn off road guidelines as well, because that's also snapping to the grid. And then do a straight line like this. And then as you can see, the tiles are off from the other ones, leaving that little gap there. And so what I can now do is place down the school, allowing me to have it coming straight in to the main bit. So what I might actually do is just make it so this comes out like that. Obviously, it does make some very awkward zoning patterns, which can be very annoying to zone. So we won't zone this bit. It can become a little park area. And what this allows us to do is pretty much just make it so that assets that really should be able to be centralized to the roads can actually be centralized. So what I do is expand these roads. I think make this a 10 curve, maybe a 20 curve. Make a 20 curve there. This road can just follow it probably. So what is it? It's directly expand this out. Let's go 2 tiles and follow this along. It's directly next to it. So road guidelines grid back on. And what you want to do is get onto the other snapping and follow that along. And then just build a little curve like that for it to follow. And that will allow us to leave this space here empty for a sort of build to come in once we unlock landscaping. So now we need to get to 800 citizens. So I think we're going to do that by zoning out this bit of land here and this bit here. Also expanding zoning here as well. Now I do want to leave, that's going to be a pathway, isn't it? So leave that bit empty and along here empty for the path. That's not got power, but it should unlock it pretty soon. Once they actually build through, that won't abandon, so that'll be fine. Now, you guys might be wondering why I haven't placed down healthcare. That's because healthcare is a very expensive. It takes up a lot of money, and you don't need it in the start of the game unless you make your citizens sick. So the only way your citizens really need healthcare is if where they're living is too loud or too polluted. So just keep your industries away and also your commercial far away from the actual areas of your city, and you should be fine. Let me just check these are all still. They need to become historical. So that should be good for our starting suburb. Once we unlock this next tile, we're going to move this starting industry over there, just so we can unlock this bit later for a small little greenbelt area, little park area maybe. And pretty much now we just have to wait for 25 tiles and also water. You have to turn up the budget to probably 75 Let's go with 75%. That'll give us hopefully enough. And again, that's now got power as well. So now we just have to wait for 800. Has it got power? It does. We're making enough power. We're making double what we need. So that's gonna not level up over time. We just have to wait for 800 citizens. Then we can actually expand the couplet system out where you want it to go. Actually, let's upgrade that to a 2-lane road, to a 1-way road. Hopefully, it does it automatically. That is wrong. You want it this way around. And we can expand that out the way we want it, and we can actually expand this suburb over to the other side. And now is probably the point where we can upgrade all of these dirt roads. And actually, now that we are actually around this area, I don't actually know how this game looks on your screens, guys, because my monitor is got a pretty weird sort of color correction. So this looks very different to me as it does for you guys. So tell me if this looks really weird on screen. I'll tinker around with the color grading, because obviously this color correction here, I can change how it looks. I normally like to play on this map on cold or dark, but I don't know if it looks weird for you guys. It looks good for me on my monitor, but I don't know how it looks for you guys. Obviously, this is a European map, so it would normally look like this when you are playing it. So yeah, now we just have to wait and get to our next milestone, which shouldn't be too far away if I zone that bit as well. Shouldn't be too far away. I think we have enough space zoned for them to move in. And maybe, is this a flat area here? Maybe show where this road will come through, sort of like as a border. I think that should be big enough for a primary school campus, elementary school campus, as I could say, probably, because most of my audience are probably American. That is annoying, isn't it? That is not, this is not actually placed correctly, is it? 90 degrees. See, that's the only problem when you connect two different tile grids together, is it looks completely horrendous. So hopefully we can make that work. Does this follow the grid? It doesn't at all. So make this follow the grid by just connecting in like that. That is really going to be annoying, but there is nothing we can do about it right now. Also, this goes over hill right now. Water. You guys have not got water. I did not give you water. That is my fault. So, do we have enough? We actually do have enough for 800 people. We're about to cross it now. And what do we unlock at 800? We unlock policies, districts, second loans, specialization, fire, police departments, which could be looking pretty good. Self-sufficient buildings, which comes with the Green Cities DLC. Definitely the superior low-density design for your builds. Because these ones here that we're zoning right now get very ugly very, very quickly. Like level 5, you get some really abstract villas that don't look great at all, but I'm not going to redo anything about it because this is a starting suburb and you can make it look good over time. So now we have hit 800 people. Let's instantly unlock this next tile. So we can get access to our industry at 1,300 people, which is the next milestone, which is the milestone we are working up to today. So we can do a detailing time lapse. Let's expand this main artillery road through. Yeah, there's no traffic lights there. And let's just build a small little bit where our industry can go real quick. Obviously, again, this is going to be temporary until we start building our main industrial area. So just make it so the zoning isn't terrible. All this is, obviously, because all this is temporary, I don't need it to look great, but I do need it to make it so I can maximize the zoning. Run this through, water through. Now, some people do different things with their water. What they do is when they're placing down the pipes, they follow the road, and I have done that a little bit, but you don't have to do that all the time because there is something called the node counter. Obviously, if you're on console, we're never going to hit it unless you really spam down every single thing and make tiny little things like that all over your city. But if you're playing 81 tile mod, you are pretty likely to hit it if you go for the full 81 tiles. which can be annoying. I don't actually have to worry about that because that's just because obviously I'm on console. So let's move these over to the new industrial bit. Again, they'll get moved again at a later date. We want to connect that to the water net systems. Power grid. Actually, let's move recycling center to here. And then where's the power is there. Get the power in. And we want to connect this into the main grid. So I think what we can do is a little bit of cool detailing along the side of this road, as this side can just become a power grid like that. That connects that. And then this connects into there, hopefully. D-zone all of this, which will cost quite a bit of money. And because you have very high industrial demand right now, what we could actually do is just zone all of this area here. And that will allow us to just get all the industry that we've just lost and replace it basically until we put it onto the new area. So as you can see, that's already all being built in. This is connected, which is good. And I think to make this easier to demolish all these, let's just demolish all these roads, because this will become a small little park area once the pollution has gone away. It shouldn't take too long because it isn't heavily polluted. As you can see, the new industrial area is already being built up pretty quickly. So what we want to do is now let's go back to our main couplet system. And I want this to run straight. That's where it is. As you can see here, guys, that is where the hump is. I'm going to use a dirt road just to show you where this is, so I don't waste too much money. It is only on this side of the coupler system, but look at that. It goes flat and then it suddenly rises up. And that's really annoying because on this one, I'm pretty sure this side doesn't have it. Yeah, this side doesn't have it at all. That is just flat throughout because it starts there, that little bit there. That is what's going to be very annoying. And we'll have to fix that at the next, at the next milestone once we unlock the landscaping and the detailing time lapse. That is something I do want to do in these videos, is at the end of every video, do sort of like a small little time lapse where I just detail the entire thing. Because detailing is a very strenuous, pretty boring thing to do, probably for you guys to watch. I actually love doing it because it just makes the city come together. But it could be pretty boring for you guys, so I won't bore you with it. What I want to do is connect this to here, and that's going to run through into the new suburb, which is a little bit too close to the industrial area right now, but it should be fine. This is going to get us to 1,300 people. And this is going to be the main road coming through. Obviously, we're going to have this coming through at a later date. And, you guys want police. I don't want to take out another loan. I think what I want to do is the assets are 4x4. So what I might want to do is use a one-way road like this and place down the two assets, 12,000. I can't place down fire. Great. Loans, I can't pay that. We're going to have to take the 60,000 loan, but I can't spend much more money because I need that loan for when we start the industrial area in the next episode. So I'm just going to place police right now because that's what they're complaining about. And I can start working on... I messed up straight away, didn't I? I can start working on the one-way system that I was planning to do. Because this can run along like this. I believe... Would that be big enough? That it wouldn't be big enough at all. Oh, no. That's not good. See, that's the little things that I always mess up on doing. Is I forget to just turn off the size of my demolishing units. I always do that, and it's so annoying. So what I want to do is, why is this snapped off? Because it's snapped onto that, isn't it? Right. I don't want it to be... This snapping is completely off. What has happened here? Oh my god. That was not meant to happen at all. So run this along. That should definitely be large enough now. Is it not? Seriously? Another... Right, we're going to need to go another tile out. So I went to here. We got to go to that one, like that. Okay, surely that is large enough. Good. Now I just need to wait for $12,000. So what I want to do is, this road is going to come along here to probably about this point here, and then run along that way. But again, this housing bit here is going to be temporary, I think, until we reach the next milestone. That's all flat, so it should be fine just to mass zone some housing on here, just to get to 1,300 people. And then we'll work on this bit properly in the next episode. Run through here, connect you up. Let's do 2 of these, shall we? Actually, no, we can't afford to do 2 of these. And what I want to do is try get water through, which I can't do because that's 1,700. Right. We're going to need to wait to get some more money, I think. We are making 1,000 a week. So hopefully it shouldn't take too long. Maybe if I expand the industrial units a little bit. Yeah, a little bit more factory in. And obviously housing demand is very, very high right now. So once we zone this bit, 1,300 people should be very, very quick to reach. And is this bit flat topography? No, it is not. So where can I put housing along here? You can put housing along this bit, can't I? Put housing there, that'll be probably about 100 people. We do have enough money for the water to come through here now, but we don't have enough for power. We probably don't have enough for power to come through. So let's get water in and run along the middle there. Oh, that's where our money runs out. Can we get it here? We need $500 to get to here. Come on, tick over. Again, as I said at the start of your city, your money is going to be very, very tight. You are going to be very much looking to overtax your citizens or take out the loans instantly. But make sure to keep your loans for when you need them and only use them if you need them, because otherwise, again, it's an unnecessary expense and you don't really need them once you get really far into your city. So let's go to here and let's connect the power through like this. And of course, Cities Skylines decided to start over here. Why wouldn't they? Just need this to connect over as it has now. Hopefully, this is enough to get us to 1,300 people. Well, that is very annoying. Obviously, we have not got enough money to actually place down the fire department yet, and when the buildings are now on fire. So, unfortunately, that guy is going to probably have to just burn down, unless we are only 14 away from 1,300. So, we should be able to make it to the point that we have enough money to place down the fire department quick enough. Just 2 more people, come on. Snap over. Let's go snap over at some point, come on. There we go. So, 1,300, which is, if you have DLCs, really the point where your city can really start to blow up. Because as you can see, we unlock park areas, which come with the Park Life DLC, industrial areas, which, believe it or not, come with the Industries DLC, pedestrian areas, which comes with plazas and promenades, which is such a good DLC. If you don't have it, please get it. It's such a good DLC. And obviously landscaping as well, really good for detailing. And all of these come along with it. And I'm pretty sure new roads, parks, pathways, roads, some more fences, everything like that. The high school, public library, lots of parks, the small deck with parking lots. I'm so happy they brought parking lots into this game. It is such a good idea. I don't know why it took them so long. I'm pretty sure they brought it along with the hotels DLC. So it took them like 9 years or something like that just to get it. So that took way too long for us to get, and all of this extra stuff. So, first thing I want to do is place down a fire station so that my city doesn't burn to the ground. So now that that's placed down, hopefully they're going to respond to the call. Let's see, rushing to the fire at the drugstore. Good. So now we have reached 1,300 population. This is the point where we can start doing our detailing. So as I said, we're going to have the path. I wanted to run, let's use, if you don't have Park Life DLC, then obviously use the gravel road for this, and you're going to have to use propping from the parks area. to light it up properly. But if you do have the Park Life DLC, use the nature reserve paths. They're pretty good. They're pretty much exactly the same as the dirt path, sorry. But it does have lighting coming with it, which is really, really useful. So where do we want the paths to come through? Let's run one along here. Obviously, we want one coming along this way, like that. And this will carry along onto the main road. And what else do I want? Maybe put the main one will come through here, which we'll do later in the detailing time lapse. And this one here, of course, we want this one to come along here. And having them come right next to the buildings is absolutely fine. And then we have the content creator trees, which make the trees so much better because this is the tree that come with the game itself. These are the content creator trees. You just see how much better the content creator trees are. So let's run some oak trees along the side of here, just for that little bit of detailing. Where else can we place them? Let's place some here, a little bit of zoning there, and then of course along that bit. And this bit here was meant to become a little park area, wasn't it? So place some trees, and then we can do some detailing with that later. As you can see, Sims are already using the pathways, which is always very good to see. And this bit had some space as well, so run some trees along there. So guys, without any further ado, I think it's time for the detailing time lapse. We will be focusing on the school and just making the whole starting area come a little bit more alive, maybe get some more people in, and then that will be it for this video. Okay, so that is the first detailing time lapse of this city, and this is something I actually forgot to mention at the start of this video, which I was actually planning to mention. As you can see, the city name is YouTube City, so as you may be able to guess, I don't have a name for it. So any name suggestions, please leave them below in the comment section, and I'll pick one of them. I'm going to leave this open for the first 3 episodes of the city because I know these videos don't get very much traction. If there isn't one that is suggested, then I will probably use a random name generator or come up with one myself. But any name suggestions, then please leave them down below and I will pick the best one if any are actually left there. And there's little bits I just missed out on just coming down this path here. We've got to put some trees down here real quick. But let's just go through what we did in the detailing time lapse. Obviously, we have this small little park being built here. I don't know how it really looks. I might change it around a little bit. I just want a little green space next to the highway just to quieten it down a bit because obviously this is very noisy. This blocks it off. And obviously, our industrial area is absolutely massive. And this is something that you can actually do in City Skylines. And I will be talking about this either in the next episode or the one after that. And what that's going to be is building small little pockets of vanilla industry. Because obviously, once you get the Industries DLC, which we now have access to, you can go as big as you want, make millions. But these small little pockets are what actually go to the industrial demand of your city, which, as you can see, has absolutely skyrocketed. So over here, in this little bit, where I have the power coming through right now in these fences, I'm going to build a small little industry bit here. And I'm really going to watch what is developed around it to make it look really generic, really genuine as well. And then, as you can see, I have got the road coming through here, ready for our next build of the city in the next episode, which is going to be the starting industry. And this actually goes over the highway perfectly. So I'm just going to just let this come down, and then that is ready for the next episode. Run that straight along here. Now, this area is already pretty flat. As you can see, there isn't much actual fertile land, but if we do angle it around correctly, then we can make this work with what we've got. And then we have an industrial bit over here. I don't want to clear these trees though. And topography, little bits that can be flattened out right now. It's not major, nothing major, but just want to make sure everything is completely flat. These trees will probably get destroyed at some point, but this will be in the next episode. So we do have some complaining right now of education, so I will place down a high school between episodes. And as you can see, you've got a little path going through, little nature area. I must have hang on. I might put some more props around here. But what I really love right now is the amount of pedestrians in this city already. I don't even put any city policies on, just adding all these paths. I've just made it so, oh no, that is not good. We did not want that being leveled up. I might have to demolish that, seeing what it turns into, which actually doesn't look too bad. Never mind, that's okay. I forgot to actually make these historic. I did these ones, and I didn't. You need to make these all historic. Before I said Asda for a minute. Make these historic. That one isn't, and these ones are. Any of these ones? That's not. Just make sure these are all historic. I don't want these leveling up. And this little bit here can actually be used as a little bus stop once we actually start the public transport. That's actually probably a really good idea. And then obviously the school here, doing this, just making your schools and little builds like this an actual build with detailing and integrating different things. Like obviously these small parking lots are really good just to put around the back of the school, because that boosts the land value around it, because obviously there's a park there, but it also makes the entire build look a lot nicer than just a small little school being squashed in a massive suburban area. But anyway, guys, that is it for our first episode of this city. Obviously, any name suggestions, please leave them down below. If you guys did enjoy this video, then make sure to like and subscribe. This city is going to go on a lot longer than the last one. I promise. I'm already going to go straight in to recording episode 2 as soon as this is edited and starting to be released. I'm going straight into the next episode. But anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe. I've been Emerald Lord, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.